If someone is born a male, at least once in his life, he'll dream of becoming the strongest man alive. What happens when you put the crazy, bizarre world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and add martial arts with a sprinkle of schizophrenia? You get Baki the Grappler. Keisuke Itagaki, the creator of Baki, is a man who lives and breathes the world of martial arts. When it comes to manga, Itagaki is the king of expression and detail, putting his all into his bizarre stories, from makeup to being insanely good at apologizing. He's also the father of Paru Itagaki, the creator of Beastars, which explains a lot. A lot of people ask the question, what is Baki even about? Is it just insanely muscular men killing each other and giving unnecessarily long monologues while suppressing their deep gay thoughts? Yes. And yes. Baki the Grappler follows the story of Baki Hanma, a young martial arts master whose goal is to defeat his father, Yujiro Hanma, the strongest man in the world. Spanning 30 years, the series comes in 5 parts. Baki the Grappler, New Grappler Baki, Baki Son of Ogre, Baki Do, and the current Baki Raihen. Today, I'm here to set the record straight and tell you guys about the insane, but somewhat actually heartfelt story for Baki the Grappler. So throw hands with a gorilla, throw more hands with a Yakuza, and fight your dad for the sake of your abusive mother as we train our ass off in Baki the Grappler, the childhood saga. The Childhood Saga is 14 episodes and 107 chapters. And shit hits the fan right away as 100 thugs prepare to fight one middle school boy. Sounds about right? 7th graders are vicious killers. Also, what did Baki do to piss off 100 people at once? And speak of the literal devil, introducing our Japanese ginger with the freaky eyebrows, Baki Hanma, the strongest 13-year-old. The fight commences. Baki pummels the crowd, beating 4 men at a time while the cops let a minor fight to the death. It looks like Baki has this in the bag, but eventually the numbers become too much for him to handle. The cops finally decide to do their job and stop the fight. When Baki regains consciousness, he's upset as he was only able to take out 37 guys. Baki's babysitter, Kuriagawa, explains to Baki's mother the turnout of the fight.
A loss is still a loss, Baki.
He's 13, what did you expect? Like, oh my god, I understand parents have high expectations of their kids, and that's fine, but fucking Christ. The cops walk Baki home only to find his entire neighborhood vandalized. If they can't hurt his body, they can hurt his heart. Uh-oh. While his mother lives the life of luxury and his dad kills random wildlife, Baki lives all alone, beating himself up for not living to his parents' crazy expectations. This kind of reminds me of how Naruto was living all by himself when he was a kid. The main difference being Naruto's parents were dead. Baki's parents are just assholes. Every single day, Baki is put into a special program designed by his mother to help him reach his father's strength. Frustrated with the lack of results, Baki smashes the entire gym. Annoyed by the low level of training, he quits the program to pursue his own power as quickly as possible. Baki enters a boxing gym and watches a sparring match with Yuri Charkovsky, the international welterweight champ and proud Jigil warrior. Baki's battle boner reaches new heights as he challenges Yuri to a fight. Everyone tell Yuri not waste time with some snot-nosed brat, but Yuri's Jigil code of honor will not refuse a challenge.
Never in rich history of Jigil has anyone ever turned down a fighting challenge. Not even if it meant fighting an entire nation. Not even if it meant fighting women and children.
A Jigil warrior must be prepared for any opponent, be it dog, grandma, a blind baby crippled elephant, or even the moon. Yuri lays smackdown on warrior Baki, but the Japanese boy uses his obsession for his father to give him strength to fight back. Yuri calms his mind, thinking of time he and sister were attacked by a pack of wolves, fighting them all for the sake of survival. With his mind focused, Yuri counters Baki and wins the fight.
Let it go! You fought the world champ and didn't even get killed.
You don't know anything!
anything! I've never ever lost a fight to anyone!
You're telling me a 13-year-old kid couldn't beat 100 thugs or a professional world-class boxer who's like 40 pounds more than him? I mean, hell, when Goku was like 6, he was already pushing giant-ass boulders. This is y'all's main character? Later that night, Emmy comes to see Baki.
I want to do things my way from now on. So go ahead and tell me how stupid I'm being. How I can never be the best without you and your trainers and...
I'm just gonna assume she meant to kiss him on the cheek but accidentally missed. Please tell me she missed. Baki decides he needs to start back from square one. He packs his bags and heads for the mountains to get stronger. And waiting for him is the perfect opponent. I don't know what the fuck that says. Baki climbs up the Hida Mountains to look for a certain someone. And before he knows it, Bigfoot grabs him by the balls in one hand. Introducing Reiichi Ando.
Almost all fights are won by those who can eat the most.
Could you eat 2 large pizzas in one sitting? Cause I can't. I'm weak as fuck. Baki explains to Ando his desire to train in Yasha Crag to get stronger, a dangerous part of the forest where a beast known as the Yasha Ape resides, a 6-foot-tall muscular gorilla that eats bears for dinner. Let me get this straight, Baki. You lost to 100 thugs and then a professional world-class boxer. So your idea of starting over from square one is to fight a 6-foot-tall, 400-pound gorilla who eats bears. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this shit up. Baki prepares for his date, and look who arrives just in time. The Yasha Ape. In appearance alone, this beast shocks Baki to his core. His fear stops him from fighting back.
Too strong. I'm no match for him.
Guys, I know I sound like a broken record, but he's 13! What did he expect? Ando comes to the rescue, but not even Bigfoot stands a chance against this freak of nature. For once, Baki uses his brain, stopping the beast from killing Ando. As Ando is sent to the hospital, Baki works on his bulk. Now knowing what it's like to feel fear, Baki trains not only his body, but his confidence to prepare for a rematch. The human brain forces the body to stop when it endures pain. But if a person can push past that pain, a special chemical known as endorphins release, pushing the body past its ordinary limits. Now with a stronger body, Baki must cross the line and face the Yasha Ape. If the Mishima family in Tekken can do it, Baki should have no problem. Facing a near-death experience, Baki's endorphins reach new heights. As he jumps down the mountain, he gains the courage he needs to fight the Yasha Ape. Later that night, the Yasha Ape comes out of his hideout, greeted by a ring of fire. He meets the new and improved Baki. Baki versus the Yasha Ape is my favorite part of this whole saga. It's a brutal back and forth with both opponents absolutely destroying one another. Even with the anime's limited budget, you can tell they put in their all, as this episode has the most crisp art quality of any episode. I've watched episode 4 like at least 3 times while working on this video. Ando comes back from the hospital, only to immediately have to deal with Baki's bullshit again. This time, however, Baki swears things are different.
Am I dreaming? Or am I really watching a 13-year-old boy hold his ground against that monster?
Just then, Ando witnesses a miracle. Baki Hanma defeats the Yasha Ape and screams to the heavens of his achievement.
911? Yeah, it's that Hanma kid again.
The next day, Baki reflects on his actions, realizing he beat the shit out of an endangered creature for no reason. He goes up to the mountains to check on the Yasha Ape. Inside the cave is a shrine dedicated to its ancestors. Baki gives the monster a present, the head of his wife, who Baki's father killed 6 years ago. From this, Baki learns the value of nature and the complexities of life. The boy has not only grown in strength, but in compassion and wisdom as he returns home. While Baki was away, Kuriyagawa has been out looking for Baki's next challenge. He's told about an extraordinary 15-year-old man who has superhuman strength and is the leader of a Yakuza group. Kuriyagawa goes to see this boy in action as two opposing gangs are about to duke it out with their best fighters. Introducing the Silent Giant, a boy blessed with godlike grip, able to rip a deck of trading cards with 2 fingers, a boy who sacrifices defense for pure destructive offense. This is Karu Hanayama, Baki's next opponent.
He's not home, but he left this note.
Three months have passed. Baki comes to see Yuri, who's preparing for his upcoming title fight. The boy shows how much he's grown, only to then say that boxing isn't a real martial art. Shitting on boxing is one of the core themes for Baki the Grappler. The other is piss. But we don't talk about that. Yuri gets ready for his match, only to be ambushed by Hanayama, who proves to be too much for the Jigil warrior, even going so far as crushing his arm. Come on, Yuri, think of the wolves! Later that night, Hanayama gets a visit from our orange-haired grappler, who's beyond excited to fight. Baki proves his strength to Karu, but their battle is interrupted as the cops come and stop the fight. Blue-balled about the whole situation and embarrassed to be seen as weak in front of his men, Hanayama takes his anger out.
Fight! Dude, what the hell are you doing? That's my car! Stop! I parked here. I still have 30 minutes on the timer. Oh my god. What are you, the police? Okay, let me just move it. Let me just move my car. Oh, I just bought that car.
Days to weeks go by. Baki lives a relatively peaceful life of school and training, but he knows deep down, Hanayama is waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And that time is now! Things really pick up at the club as 2 minors fight to the death. Hanayama gets the jump on Baki and manages to do some serious damage, but Baki's quick wit gives him the edge he needs. Hanayama gets serious, removing the drip to show the pride of his family, the Standing Man. In 1616, a man carrying a giant iron bell was attacked by a group of bandits. The man died standing, protecting the bell at all costs. Inside the bell was a boy named Yakichi, the last survivor of the Hanayama family. Since then, the Hanayama family shows their gratitude to the Standing Man by tattooing his image on their back as a reminder of the sacrifice he's made. However, Karu thought it wasn't good enough. It wasn't a true Standing Man. In order to make it complete, he went to fight the Tomozawa group, the ones responsible for killing his father. When the Karu gang arrived, they find the entire Tomozawa group defeated. The only man standing was Karu Hanayama, bloodied and covered in scars, just like the Standing Man. Wow, what a crazy backstory. I sure hope it's not ruined by it being brought up every single time Hanayama takes his shirt off. Back to the fight. Hanayama's insane grip manages to severely damage Baki's arm, just like Yuri's. Both fighters demolish one another, destroying both their bodies and the room. Hanayama clearly has the upper hand in strength and endurance, but Baki's willpower and creativity gives him the slight edge he needs to seize victory. The grapplers thank each other for the good fight as the room is showered with applause. From a fierce fight comes a great friendship. The battle might be over, but the war has just begun. When there's a fight, you can be sure he will make his presence known. Coming down from the heavens is an ogre, a vampiric god of muscle, who values himself above all. This is Yujiro Hanma, Baki's father and the strongest man in the world. Yujiro Hanma is the physical embodiment of toxic masculinity. Like, this dude has so much testosterone that he genuinely views anyone weaker than him as a woman, and yes, that is canon, I did not make that up. 13 years ago, the recently married Emi is living the good life with her husband Aichi Akazawa, a rich man with many underworld connections. To celebrate their new life, they throw a huge party, inviting some of the biggest names in the world. Steve Jobs, Abraham Lincoln, Kim Kardashian, and oh my god, is that Mushroom Man? Oh boy, I better like, comment, and subscribe to his YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so I can be notified whenever he posts quality content. During the party, Emi senses something unnatural, fueled by the hate and the desire for blood. Yujiro stares at Emi, as he can sense that the shy and kind girl is actually a sadist deep down, watching fondly at Yujiro displaying his masculine power on the weak. Later that night, Yujiro comes and kills Aichi, then claims Emi as his own, demanding to bear him a boy who can rival him in strength, combined with Emi's natural hate. Yujiro Hanma is the true Mr. Steal Your Girl, not because he has phenomenal riz. No. He will literally kill you and then take your girl against her will. Back to present day, as Yujiro mocks Baki and Hanayama for being so weak-minded, calling the fight unfinished until someone dies. Hanayama and Baki attempt to fight back, but Yujiro, without even breaking a sweat, traumatizes the two boys with his godlike strength. Later that night, Yujiro visits the infatuated and delusional Emi. Yujiro is embarrassed and annoyed that Baki isn't up to his level yet, calling Emi nothing but a simple whore for not following his requests. In a lot of anime, you usually either see the mother or the father being the antagonist to the main character. But for Baki, it's both. Yujiro Hanma, his father, is physically abusive, demanding that a 13-year-old child be able to compete with his wild demands for strength. Whereas Emi, his mother, is emotionally abusive, neglecting Baki for not being able to live up to his father's demands solely for the sake of her being able to get some demon dick. Baki does his 2:30 bird training, but it gets interrupted by Yujiro, who's come to tell Baki he's tired of waiting. In 1 month, they will fight to the death, whether Baki's ready or not. To celebrate the upcoming occasion, Yujiro provides a gift, the head of the Yasha Ape. Oh, Yujiro, you shouldn't have. Seriously, dude, that's fucked up, my guy. Stridum finds Baki and tells him of the perfect opportunity to get stronger. In Hokkaido is a sacred military training ground where Yujiro became a legend during the Vietnam War. Stationed there are 5 of the strongest mercenaries in the world. These men have caused a lot of problems for Stridum and his team. Stridum wants Baki to take care of them. Baki arrives in Hokkaido, being told that the moment he lands, the battle begins.
What now? I thought they were gonna attack me as soon as I landed.
And right from the get-go, Baki fights one of the soldiers, specializing in using a knife sharp enough to crush a bear's skull. Seems terrifying, but Baki takes care of him and no problem. The other fighters start coming at Baki one at a time with their wild techniques. I'm sorry, did that guy just jump out of a bear? However, one by one, Baki takes them down. Stridum, I think you might have underestimated Baki, because, those guys were a bunch of jokes. The mercenaries warn Baki of their leader, but before Baki can even ask a question, he's introduced to his greatest foe yet. Nomura, the weakest of the 5 mercenaries, carries a great power. Due to a near-death experience, Nomura's mind caused him to have split personality disorder and birthed the second identity known as Gaia, the king of war. For Gaia, the battlefield is his weapon, being able to use his body to control his endorphins and adrenaline to achieve feats so great, not even the strongest athletes could ever accomplish in 100 years. Also, I just want to mention how one time Gaia went up a military dude's butthole and then came out his mouth during an interview.
How long will you continue to make your body suffer? I hope you're satisfied with uncommon speed, strength, and technique, because your body isn't. Your body needs rest in order to be healthy.
You know, this guy makes some really good points.
The battle is tough, but through it, Baki learns to trust his body's natural instincts and superior muscles to claim victory against the overhyped Gaia. Then, after attempting to kill one another, the 6 men sit around a campfire and eat like a couple of friends.
I guess the best buddies are the old war buddies.
Baki, what are you talking about? They literally just tried to kill you like an hour ago. And now you want soup? Like, no, I want therapy.
Baki returns home. Stronger than ever, he tests his speed with a professional swordsman. Meanwhile, Yujiro pranks the Prime Minister with the fear of death. Later that night, Emi goes to see her demon daddy as she looks at his body in awe of its power. Yujiro pushes her away in disgust, saying how they are through unless Baki can prove himself.
What if he beats you?
He won't.
He's 13! Oh my god! Emi walks around her mansion, depressed that Yujiro doesn't love her anymore. She notices Baki and clings to him, then in a split second begins to punch her own child, hating him for being so weak. I honestly feel as though Emi is the true villain of the childhood saga. Like, she straight up does not love her son. For Emi, Baki is just an obstacle or a tool to be used in order to make Yujiro happy so he'll love her. Because this is one of the saddest moments when you really stop and think about the logic behind it. A mother just straight up decking her son. That's wild. And yet, despite the abuse, Baki still loves his mother, saying how he'll do the best he can to make both of his parents proud so they can finally love him. And so the time has come. In just 12 hours, Baki and Yujiro will fight. Stridum watches our young fighter prepare for the ultimate battle. As time passes, Yuri, Hanayama, the military boys, and all of Baki's friends come to watch and give their support. Yuri and Hanayama spar with Baki, but even these behemoths are now no match for our grappler, who's even wearing a 50-pound vest. Baki is ready. Everyone looks up as a helicopter descends down on them. Shockingly, the first person to come out is a defeated Gaia, who attempted to fight Yujiro. Baki stands up to his father, and standing next to the ogre is Emi. It's son versus mom and dad. If Baki wins, his parents will finally love him. Baki goes in to fight, but an earthquake stops them in their tracks, not wanting to ruin the moment. Yujiro, the strongest man in the entire world, punches the ground and effectively stops the earthquake. I think we can all collectively agree Baki's gonna die. Baki pummels on Yujiro, giving him a taste of everything he's learned in the past few months. As Baki bounces around, Yujiro thanks everyone for coming, as they can learn what real strength looks like.
I should have known. Every last one of us should have known. There's no way a 13-year-old boy could last through a bout with the king.
As Yujiro pummels his son to death, Emi begins to have an epiphany. Before she knows it, her body runs up to Yujiro and
Make me your opponent!
And this moment alone has made Emi the best character in the entire franchise. And now she's dead.
The next day, Baki walks along the streets of Japan carrying his mother, saying how both of them will carry on together as a family. But in reality, it was all an illusion. Baki's mom has died just when she finally began to love her son. The craziest part about this is just how much it was heavily censored in the anime. Cause in the manga, Baki is actually carrying the corpse of his mother across the street and just pretending, daydreaming that he's having a bonding moment with his mother. And then when the cops confront him about it, he just screams at them, saying how he's fully aware of what's going on, but just wants to pretend a little bit longer that he's having a beautiful moment with his mother. And that's the end of the childhood saga for the first half of Baki the Grappler. This saga is 100% my favorite for Baki the Grappler. Everybody mocks Itagaki and makes fun of him for writing a series that makes no sense. And I love a lot of that stuff, the really weird, wacky things about Baki the Grappler, but you can tell through part 1 and some aspects of later parts of the series that Itagaki does know how to write a story with compelling characters that grow, adapt, and change, like Baki himself in part 1. As the series goes on, it does kind of dissolve more into the stereotypical what is Baki even about kind of thing, with big muscular men punching each other and saying weird long monologues about random shit. Especially after Son of Ogre, part 2 of Baki Do. I had fun with it, but it was kind of rough reading it on a bi-weekly basis when it first came out. Let me know what you guys think about the childhood saga or just Baki the Grappler as a whole. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Tell me all those things. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole YouTube shebang, and I'll see you next time. Bye.